Hello guys, it's Rhys from Coaster Royals, and today we are doing a new series on Planet Coaster 2. We're going to be building our own theme park here. I've already mapped out a bit of the plaza because pathing takes me ages, but you kind of get an idea. Got this area, I'm on console, so I've decided to go for a smaller blueprint because, you got the complexity limit. So I wanted to make sure I got a nice full out park. I didn't want to go into a big sandbox area and have loads of gaps in it. So, yeah, this is where we're going to be starting. This will be the plaza, front plaza, entrance there, and then that'll be the first area, or just off to the right there. So we're going to start with roofs here. I always find it's best to start with the roofs because I feel like walls are easy to make and roofs can get a bit hard. Like, especially mapping out the the shape and everything, they always need to be a bit more detailed. So I start with the roofs. I just feel like it's much better. So yeah, just cooking up a little something here. This does take a long time building a Planet Coaster sometimes. As you'll see, like, this video is probably only gonna be about 20 minutes long, but this was like hours of recording. And also, I am doing this through game clips and voiceover because my PC is broken. So I'm not able to... If not, I would be playing Planet Coaster on PC if it wasn't broken. I would be able to use a capture card to record over, but right now, I'm recording game clips and then doing commentary over. I mean, that takes so long. It actually does, but I wanted to always do a Planet Coaster 2 theme park series, and I thought best time to start now. I haven't really got any theme park trips coming up, so yeah, starting with some walls here. Just, sometimes the hardest bit of building is finding what pieces you want to use. I just feel like it does get a bit difficult. You've got to try out a lot of things, but I thought this looked quite nice. For this theme of this entrance bit, I was kind of going for like a, like that Asian style of building, with the pretty roofs. That's probably this first area's like style. So the entrance is incorporated with that theme for that area. So that's what we'll be seeing. I do have a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to be doing going forward with this park. Obviously, I've got the whole idea for this first area because it's the first one, you got to know what you're doing. And for the area at the back, I've got an idea, but the rest I don't. So if you've got any ideas, anything you want to kind of see, comment down below. I'm kind of going for like a non-IP park, which means, if you don't know what that means like, for example, Saw the Ride's an IP, something that exists made into a ride. Same with all the Universal and Disney rides, they're pretty much all IP, so I'm going to be going like non-IP. I'm going to be doing it quite original. So if you've got any ideas, comment down below. I'd love to see them, and it might get used, you never know. The one thing I am excited with this park is that Frontier have added on-ride photos and like the gift shops, and I think that is, besides like the pathing update, I think that's the best thing, and the smoothing, that's the best thing that they've added to this game. There's something about being able to have your own on-ride photos, it just kind of like makes this game now. Update 6 came out, and that's what inspired me to make this series, as we've got a lot more stuff now. It's a lot more of a complete game than it was when it first came out, and it'd just be nice to start a series now, especially because at the moment, theme parks, it's just going crazy. Universal have just put in their planning proposal. Literally, at the time of me recording the gameplay here, I was sitting there checking, waiting for them to be dropping the planning proposal. Like, literally, I was just checking like every 5 minutes. It was so long, to be honest. I was waiting for hours while I was doing this, but yeah, it came out. We got some great news about that. The height restriction, I think, was the most exciting thing we saw. 377 feet as the maximum height for a roller coaster, which is insane. That would be the tallest in Europe, potentially at the time, as Red Force is like 10 feet below that, I think. Oh, so that would just be incredible. And opening times as well. If you know the UK, you know that our theme park opening times are not great. We usually get like 10 till 4, 10 till 5, like 7, 6, 8 hours, you know, it's not great. Universal potentially will be doing 7 to 11 on an average day, which is actually insane. And for like Halloween, you've got Halloween Horror Nights, that's confirmed to come. And 2 a.m. openings for Halloween Horror Nights is just incredible. Halloween Horror Nights look to be the best. I'm a big fan of Halloween. Every year I go to the UK theme park events like Fright Nights and Scarefest. I try to go to at least one of them. Stay over for a few days, you know, do all the mazes, night rides. You can't beat a night ride. It's just great. But yeah, as you can see here, we're just adding some trimmings to the roof. And Planet Coaster, what on earth was going on here? I spent ages trying to fit that in. Like, why would that not just go over? Look, it like skips the whole thing. Trying to edit like the grid size, it just was not working. Like, what on earth, Planet Coaster? I think I end up just manually moving it with advanced movement duplicate. I had to do that for each one. Some things in this game just don't make sense, but you know, you gotta put in some effort just to do the little things, you know. And it'll be the same thing on this side. That is a thing that I think a lot of people get put off on this game sometimes, you know. It can be a bit tedious, and I do get it, but you know, people who love making detailed big theme parks like myself, you gotta play into it, you know. You gotta add these little details, you gotta get tedious with it. But even though it's tedious, I absolutely adore this game. I remember when I was 16 buying my first PC just to play Planet Coaster 1, as it wasn't on consoles. Yeah, that's the main reason I wanted my PC. It's an amazing game just for building, like, genuinely. I know that, like, for roller coasters, you've got some better things, like No Limits 2, you know, a bit more realistic and all that sort of stuff. But this one as, like, a whole for building roller coasters, building theme parks, theming, just park management in general, this is the best one. As an overall theme park management and builder, this is the best one for sure. And I'm excited for the future of Planet Coaster 2. You know, the first, like, year of this game being out, they've kind of just been adding, like, stuff from the old game, you know, a few new things like the Mac Extreme Spinner, which was great, you know, what a great addition. But there's going to be a whole lot of new things coming out. I really hope that they add some sort of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World pack, like in the last game they had the Ghostbusters pack, you know. They had a few like little IP packs, and I really want Jurassic Park to be one of them. Frontier obviously make a game called Jurassic World Evolution, which is another great game that I could do some videos on as well. I absolutely adore Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Evolution is an amazing game. So I would love to see an IP pack of Jurassic Park come out. Please, Frontier, if you're listening, absolutely beg you to do that. I'd pay X amount of money. I'd pay so much money for that. Like, you make that DLC 40 quid, I'm dropping 40 quid on it. So please, Frontier, make that happen. It would be such a good addition. And you know, the spooky pack, I need that spooky pack back. That was probably my favourite pack in the first game. My top 3 packs were Studios, Spooky Pack, and the Adventure Pack, which we actually don't have yet. So I haven't got any of them free, so we really need them back, Frontier. Or even like an updated version. I don't mind. We just need some spooky in here. We need it for haunted houses and stuff, you know. And they were the funnest themes to build, in my opinion. Same with the Adventure Pack, you know. Had loads of stuff in. And the Studios, obviously, you know, with Universal Studios coming to Great Britain, people are going to be wanting to build some similar stuff to that. Obviously, if you know Digital Dan, he's trying to recreate the Universal Studios Great Britain from the concept art right now. He's got a series, you should check that out, it's pretty good. And I'm sure that a Studios pack would probably help him massively, so Frontier, lock in, you know. You've done great so far, let's just keep it up for the next, like, year or two, keep it up. You may be able to hear in the background, I've been using Merlin's soundtracks for their roller coasters. As you can hear, Oblivion's playing right now. Oblivion is my absolute favourite soundtrack, like, of any roller coaster. I absolutely love it. Me and Star are always in the queue, dancing to this. It's amazing, you know. What's your favourite soundtrack from Merlin? Let me know, just in general, coaster soundtrack. But Oblivion is amazing. Absolutely love it. As you can see, I'm just adding some like trimmings to this building. They're so important to add like trims and stuff. Extra detail, you know, just to make it stand out. It's very important to do. A lot of people don't do that, and I feel like that's where like your next level of building goes up in Planet Coaster. You need to add these little details on there. They're so important just to make a building pop. So that's what I've been doing here. You know, adding them, I think, like some wooden poles, and you just kind of got to make a building pop by doing stuff like this. So that's what we're doing. But I thought this entrance so far has come along quite nicely. You know, it's a lot of trial and error when you're building in this game, and I've just been trying things. I think it looks pretty good so far. Nice shape, nice size, but not too big. You can end up making a building that's too big, and what on earth happened there? It's just a weird glitch for Planet Coaster. Little things like that's quite funny. But yeah, adding some windows here. You got to add windows, you know what I mean? Just makes it look a bit less plain. Make sure you got to line up the windows as well. Very important to do so. Oh, I didn't want that one. And we've cut back to the other side. Well, so far, it's looking pretty good. So my overall plans for this theme park is to have like 4 major areas. Probably 3 or 4 major coasters, a family coaster, a few flats. I want to try and get everything involved in this theme park though. I want to try and get restaurants, like all the facilities. I'm not going to do water parks. I think water parks are very great in Planet Coaster, but they're not my cup of tea. Maybe I'll do another series where I'll have a water park, because I've not really built an actual water park in this game, even though that was like the main selling point. Just not my cup of tea. I mean, I can do a series on it. We'll have to see if this one does well and people like it, you know. I do want to do more of these with different like themes. Like this one's kind of just like a general theme park. I'm theming it how I want, but I could end up doing like a studio. If Studios pack comes out, could end up doing like a Studios park. I would love to do a park themed to like animals, so a bit like Animal Kingdom and Busch Gardens like mixed in together. That'd be pretty good. Busch Gardens has got to be like my favourite theme park I've been to so far. It's just so amazing there. I know a lot of people don't like it because the operations can be a bit bad. For me and Star, when we went personally, we did 2 full days and a half day there because we got off at Tampa Airport, so we went to Busch Gardens for a half day before heading to Orlando. We had pretty good operations. Like the only thing that was bad was Cheetah Hunt. The operations on that were awful. We only got like 1 ride on that because the queues were mental for it, just so long. But yeah, and then like obviously a bit of bad weather, but you can't really blame the park for that. That's just Florida. If you've been to Florida, you know how bad the storms get, and they just come out of nowhere. The operations are pretty good there when we went, but I know a lot of people complain. We just absolutely love that park though. It's got some of my favourite roller coasters like Iron Gwazi. That was our first RMC, and we got back row. And it was warmed up. It wasn't in the morning, it was warmed up. It was like midday. We got back row, Iron Gwazi, first RMC ever. Unreal, absolutely unreal roller coaster. I'll definitely be having an RMC in this park. Little spoiler for you there. I've got a plan for that. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a crazy one. But yeah, just adding some scenery here, you know, a bit of, you need a bit of greenery. And I thought like these little bamboo plants look great with the building actually. You know, have a little wall, a few rocks, a few ferns. Did it on the other side as well. And now we're building some walls here for this little bit. This is where we're going to have the entrance sign. So like the main sign, you know, every park has it. I kind of wanted to do it as like a standalone thing. Some parks have it on their buildings, but I wanted to leave the building without a sign. And I just did it here. Yeah, so just thinking ahead, that's what I did. And now the name of the park is here. You may have already seen it in the bottom left corner if you're paying attention, and it might be in the title. Probably going to be in the title as well. But yeah, Royal Park, you know. Coaster Royals, Royal Park. It makes sense. So I'm just going to make the entrance sign here. These can be quite hard to make. They can be a bit tedious. So first of all, you've got to do what I'm doing here. You've got to add the letters in. And then you've got to like space them properly which you'll see in a second, it can be a bit tedious, you know. It did take me a while. This took me like 10 minutes just to make this. It wouldn't look like it'd take 10. But you got to space them right, or it just looks weird, you know. So I spent a lot of time just spacing them, making sure they're all lined up and nice and compact together. As you can see, just moving them just in. Looks pretty good so far. So yeah, Royal Park, that's the main sign that you'll see walking into the park. Just finishing lining up just to make it look neat as possible. It's got to be neat. You know, entrance to the park, the sign revealing your park, the name. You've got to have it neat. So there we go, just going to group that all up now, move it over here. That's where it's going to be. You've also got, like, this bit can be tricky. You've got to, like, line it up perfectly, you know. You've got to have it the perfect height, the perfect axis, the perfect size as well. Had to make it a bit bigger. It was a bit small. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good so far, you know. Make sure it's nice and lined up. This is where I've added rocks, you know, it can't just be floating text. And I thought the rocks kind of fits. It's kind of like this area's like, it's going to be a lot of buildings, but also a lot of nature, like a perfect blend. It's going to be like a mountainous kind of theme. A lot of greenery and stuff, you know, just make it look proper nice and pretty. Got the vision in my head. Yeah, adding a bit more greenery here. You know, you got to fill in all the little gaps here. I don't like to leave gaps, so that's just what you got to do. You got to have filling it all in. I thought that looks pretty good. For the next bit of these recordings, you may be able to see a lot of my game clips just didn't like upload to my OneDrive. That is the annoying thing with recording with game clips. So you'll see like a lot gets done. You won't really see. It's not too much, but yeah, I'm adding walls on the outside of the plaza right now, which is where I'll have a lot of I'll have a berm and a lot of vegetation there, which is going to, you know, like contain this plaza, you know, keep the immersion. You don't want to see like all the outside bits. Yeah, this is where it skipped. I added a whole berm, added a bunch of trees. You see me putting these last trees here. But yeah, I also added these trees. That is where I actually ended it. Oh, I added a little thing in the plaza. You can see like a little fountain there and some planters. But yeah, this is the end of the episode. Next episode, we're going to be continuing this area, the entrance, and then continuing beyond the entrance building into that next area. If you enjoyed, leave a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.